If today you had a little bit of difficulty trading, don't blame yourself. The market was definitely a little harder to trade today. We saw a lot of back and forth, not a lot of continuation. With that being said, it's important that you have the tools on your side to set you up for success. And one of those tools is vwap. And the reason why I mentioned vwap is because that's where big money and most of the people in hedge funds are waiting to load up on their shares. Now, vwap is one of the tools that you use to understand what the stock is doing for the day, right? So if we quickly look at the SPY here, right, you can see I have vwap in white over here. So that means that I have a little bit of a bias towards the strength and the direction of the stock, depending whether we're above or below vwap, right? So if we're looking at the SPY daily here, we actually got the move that we were looking for. We saw the gap up before the range. So if I put in the range here and plug this in, right? We saw the gap up and then a run up, and then you had the range, and then you saw a gap up right here and then a run up. Not as much of a run up as last time, but it's important for you to recognize that if we're talking about patterns, this pattern is pretty much done, right? So we're looking at a calculation from the bottom of this pattern, which is 416, 417, let's say, all the way up to 425, right? So that roughly leaves you about an $8 move, right? And then you have from here 429, let's say 430. So we're looking at 438, right? Or 437, which we are at right now. So roughly a $7 to $8 move, meaning that the probability of SPY continuing up in this manner is not that likely. Does that mean we're bearish? No, it doesn't. It just means that we have to wait until a better opportunity presents itself where we're going sideways so that we can get involved in the stock or the ETF. So now that we're looking at this price action and we were talking about VWAP, it's important that you understand how to set up your watch list, right? So if you have a watch list set up, and I have a watch list on another screen, but what I want to show you is if I'm going through this watch list as I'm trading during the day, I'm going stock by stock and I'm looking Rivian above VWAP, CVNA above VWAP, AMC above VWAP around this time, GME back and forth in the beginning, came below VWAP, then crossed above VWAP. You understand where we're getting with this? So it's not a crossover signal. My entries are based on price action alone. I can take all indicators off the screen and I still have an entry pattern because the price action is telling you exactly what's happening in the tape. So it's important for you to recognize price action because that's the raw number combined with volume about what is going on in that stock. So if you see price action combined with volume, that's exactly what's going on in the tape. So that's a reason why I watch tape over longer periods of time, over the monthly, weekly, the daily, and finally the day chart, right? So now I'm also using VWAP, which is volume weighted average price. So that means that it's also combining volume and price action so that you know the best probability of you being profitable, right? So also in the last video, we had mentioned how EVs were getting a little bit of a buzz. And today we saw Tesla make a move, right? So we saw Tesla come a little bit back and forth, and then when we got above VWAP, it made the move that we were looking for. Also, you saw Rivian, right? Also, you saw a charge point, and also you saw a plug. So that's why, like, you need to have the sectors that are most strongest at the moment on a watch list, so you game plan that for that the day before. Now, today was a little bit more difficult to trade, right? We saw a lot of consolidation in Apple. We saw a pullback in AMD, right? So that means that you also have to know how to manage that risk in the stocks that are not doing what you're doing, what you want it to do, and the stocks that are doing what you want it to do. But also, if the stocks that are doing what you want it to do, now you have to see, is the market doing what you want it to do? And today the market was a little choppy, right? We saw a little bit of buying, a little bit of selling, a little bit of everything, and a mixed bag of the overall market of what it was doing. We were a little more industry and sector specific with those EVs and electric cars, right? So this is why it's important for you to know what to look at, how to use the tools, how to get involved, right? And you should definitely get educated in all these things. I know YouTube is great, right? But you have to know where you're getting your information from. If you hear a word on YouTube, you need to go and you need to look it up, figure out the dictionary, and watch a few people on how they use it, right? So that you can get an idea of how you should use it. Now, with that being said, it takes you a lot of time to learn something while doing research, right? One of the best ways to learn something is to find someone who knows more than you and learn from that person. If you're a plumber, you need to go find an experienced plumber and work under that person. If you're a doctor, you need to go find a doctor and work under that person so that you learn the steps and that you can get it down pat. Now, with that being said, I advise that you guys pay attention to the market conditions so that you know how much to allocate to each trade. All right. So this is some of the gems that I want to leave with you, because I want you to start researching and I want you to start implementing it in your trading, right? How to set up your watch list. What is the market doing? What sectors are moving? What sectors are not moving? Where are the pullbacks going on? Where should you take advantage? Are we above or below vwap? So these are some of the things and some of the tools that you need to know, price action based tools, so that you can take advantage of your portfolio and grow your account, right? So with that being said, tomorrow we have more news coming up. Remember, when the news comes out, it's better for you to reduce the amount of positions that you're in before the news, or to just close out everything, wait till the news comes out, and then attack the news after you know exactly what was said, what does it mean, and how the market's reacting to it. All right, guys. Well, with that said, I'm gonna finish this one up early. Today's my birthday, so I'll check you guys out later. Until next time, peace.